The government's accused of getting heavy with MPs who want to bring down Boris Johnson, trying to scare them off with threats to withdraw public money from projects in their constituencies and to circulate embarrassing stories about their private lives.
The intimidation of a Member of Parliament is a serious matter. Moreover, the reports of which I am aware would seem to constitute blackmail. As such, it would be my general advice to colleagues to report these matters to the Speaker of the House of Commons and the Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police.
I've seen no evidence, heard no evidence to support any of those allegations.
All the allegations of threatening to withhold public money from rebels' seats relate to past rebellions on Commons votes.
I think I could do with some more sleep.
Christian Wakeford, a Tory MP until yesterday, today meeting with his new Labour allies, says he was told if he rebelled on the trade bill last year, his constituency would pay a heavy price.
I was threatened that I would not get the school for Radcliffe if I didn't vote one particular way. This is a town that's not had a high school for the best part of 10 years. And how do you feel when holding back a regeneration of a town for a vote? It didn't sit comfortably, and that was really that kind of starting to question my place where I was.
The voting records suggest the pressure worked, and Christian Wakeford backed the government. William Wragg says more recently Tory MPs sending in letters of no confidence, or thinking of doing so, are being smeared in pro-Boris Johnson newspapers. Another MP calling for a no-confidence vote agrees.
Yes, there is a coordinated campaign of intimidation against letter writers, and I think that's stepped up the last 48 hours. It is unprecedented, it's different, and to be honest, I think it's just a sign of desperation.
It's just so disappointing because it is just attention-seeking behaviour.
If there's evidence out there that proves, though, that this sort of threatening behaviour took place, you can't support that, can you?
It is literally nonsense. It doesn't happen.
The Prime Minister was tiring of questions swirling around his future today, but they're not going away. And he can't be sure the Sue Gray report, expected next week, will be an end of the matter.
Well, an awful lot of Tories today saying that these allegations are ludicrous and that pressure against MPs is exactly what always happens in the House of Commons, and they say sometimes it's Labour whips being a lot harsher on their own people than Tory ones. On the allegations themselves, it's quite important to make a distinction between the ones that are historical, the ones that are current. What seems to be being alleged here is that in the past, in votes in Parliament, Tory MPs have been threatened that there will be money withheld from their constituencies if they vote the wrong way. And as well as the trade bill, as I mentioned there, the vote on international aid was another occasion when people recall that happening. And people are also talking about an occasion when Boris Johnson swept up to one senior Tory who was going to rebel on COVID measures and said, well, you've lost your bypass now. I think that's a reference to a road bypass, not a hospital operation. The thing that's happening currently, according to these people making allegations, is that people who are thinking of writing no confidence letters are being warned that aspects of their private lives, things they don't want in the press, might end up in the press. And some of the people who are thinking of rebelling think stuff already has ended up about certain Tories in Boris Johnson supporting newspapers, and that has been put there in part as a warning to them. This is all getting extremely tense, and you get a flavour of why it's so tense and what's at stake when you hear what Steve Baker, the veteran Brexiteer and organiser of rebellions of his own in the past, said in an interview with the BBC today. He's quite a mean parliamentary chess player himself, and he said he sensed it might be checkmate for the Prime Minister.